Okay, well, this is annoying. I just was filming this, and then I had a technical issue because my fucking battery on my laptop keeps dying. So I have to do this again now. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so here we are for weekend reading. Another week, another Wednesday, another weekend. So let's go over what we had last week. Last week we had Dawn of X, which was okay. Black Widow Volume 1, The Ties That Bind, which was pretty good. And Captain Marvel Volume 5, The New World. This one was my choice for pick of the week, and it was the one I liked the most. So it was a good choice. It's by Kelly Thompson and Lee Garbett. And Kelly Thompson's been, good writing. Lee Garbett, I believe, has been the steady writer, consistent artist for this book. It's been good. I definitely enjoyed the art here. I thought I would like the story the most because it seems to have an alternate future type story. It plays off of something I didn't read, Captain Marvel: The End, which was, as the name suggests, Marvel does these stories where it's like an alternate future where a couple of their heroes have basically their last story where they die or something. They've done it with a couple of characters. This was Captain Marvel's, where she's in a future where two different wars with invading aliens have sort of ravaged the human population, and then something happened where the sun started burning out, so she had to come, and she had gone into outer space but then came back, and she basically flew into the sun to reignite it, but it killed her in the process, as you would imagine. And so she sacrificed herself to save the world. What does this have to do with the current Captain Marvel storyline? Well, it starts with her going off with War Machine, who she's in a relationship with, her best friend, Spider-Woman, and her protege, Hazmat, to investigate a disturbance where an alien ship was discovered. When they go and investigate the alien ship, some creature with tentacles attacks them, and then Captain Marvel's all of a sudden transported to the year 2052, which is where the Captain Marvel: The End story took place. There she meets a bunch of future versions of heroes and some of their offspring. She meets the daughter of Thor. She sees Spider-Woman's son, who's all grown up. She meets the daughter of Psylocke and Forge and a bunch of different people, and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter is there. Luke Cage is there too, but he's working for the bad guys, though not by choice. A lot of the heroes are living in these underground places, and the older Spider-Woman is there. She survived. She's basically leading the group. That and Emma Frost, who's keeping herself young by making sure that she always stays in her diamond form, because apparently she doesn't age in that form, but she also can't use her telepathy. Apparently the villain in this story is a guy named Ove, who has basically created a place called New Atlantis in the heart of New York. And judging from the fact that he's created a place called New Atlantis and is the way he looks, you can kind of determine that he's the son of the Submariner. But he's somehow mind-controlling people, because he's also the son of Amara, the Asgardian enchantress. So he has the magical ability to control people's minds. He has plenty of magical abilities, but that's one of them, because that's kind of enchantress's MO. Shouldn't say that word so fast. So he's controlling people, making them do a bunch of different things, including, create this safe zone called New Atlantis. Because the problem is, after all the wars in the near Ice Age, the environment is still very hostile. Everything's still frozen over, and there's still a lot of radiation around, but he's protecting them. The thing is, he brought Captain Marvel back through a spell that he had magic, Ilyana Rasputin, use. He brings her back so he can, in turn, kill her, and then, as a part of his sacrifice, perform a spell that'll send him back to her place in the time stream so he can take her place. He wants to go back in time and create New Atlantis before the world went to shit. Basically, he wants to take over the world, back when the world was worth taking over. That's his whole scheme. It's not a bad scheme as things go. Captain Marvel fights back and they defeat him, but Enchantress sacrifices herself for the spell so her son can go back, because she's just a very devoted mother who, even though she knows her son is a monster, wants to do, like, she even reveals that his whole story about how the Submariner was killed by rebels in Atlantis isn't true. Like, he killed his own father because he's just a sociopath. But she still loves her son, so she does whatever he wants, and she sends him back in time by sacrificing herself. And then Spider-Woman, the older Spider-Woman, sacrifices herself so Captain Marvel can go back to her place in the time stream. So she returns right back to the place she was taken from, ends up fighting the weird alien monster that attacked her and her friends originally, and then she realizes that the ship they were investigating was not a spaceship, it was an Atlantean craft, and they realize that Ove has actually gone back even further in the time stream, so he's actually been around for a while. So she now has a new arch enemy in this weird alternate reality, son of the Submariner and the Enchantress. So they're basically giving her a weird new arch villain, which Captain Marvel hasn't had. I've always said that a good hero needs a good villain, and she hasn't had any real good villains. So if they can give her one, that'll definitely make her story a little bit more interesting and, make it seem more dramatic. So I'll definitely like that. So yeah, like I said, I like alternate reality storylines, so that's why this was my favorite of the week. It's a good read. Moving on to this week. Well, starting up this week, we have Dark Knight's Metal, The Darkest Night. It is by various writers and artists because it's collecting different books it's collecting from all sorts of different stories from various different books that have been released over the past couple of years. It's part of the whole Dark Knight, the whole death metal thing, Dark Knight's death metal thing that's been running through the DC books for a while. I think it's over in the regular format, but it's getting all its collected formats now. So let's read the description. The army of the Batman who laughs rises and Earth doesn't stand a chance. The DC universe is becoming engulfed by the dark multiverse, where demons dwell and reality is overrun by monstrous versions of the Dark Knight, all fueled by the Batman who laughs. As Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and other heroes fight to survive in this strange new landscape, one cloaked figure has been observing from the sidelines, creating a guidebook to this new world and its evil leaders in the hope of forming a plan of justice and penance. Ooh, I wonder who that could be. Meanwhile, the heroes who have split up on separate missions to take back the Earth. Meanwhile, the heroes have split up on separate missions to take back the Earth. I don't know why I read that so weird. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman launched a head-on assault on Castle Bat. The Flashes are in a race to the death of the Darkest Night, and the Green Lanterns try to save the heroes of the dying multiverse. Sounds pretty interesting. Featuring stories from a who's who of today's top creators like Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, Francis Manapul, Tony S. Daniel, and Doug Mahnke, Dark Knight's death metal, The Darkest Night, is filled to the brim with head-banging action. They really love playing on that whole death metal rock and roll theme. Collects tales from Dark Knight's Death Metal 1, or Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knights 1, Dark Knight's Death Metal Guidebook 1, Dark Knight's Death Metal Trinity Crisis 1, Dark Knight's Death Metal Speed Metal 1, and Dark Knight's Death Metal Multiverses End 1. This collection also features a host of behind-the-scenes material for the creation of these issues. So that should be interesting, but it's a bunch of one-off stories for the most part. But it has a lot of alternate reality stuff, which I said I like, so that should be good. Not the pick of the week. Number 2. A Reckless Book, Friend of the Devil, written by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have been doing a lot of crime noir stuff lately. They've been working together for literally years now, doing a lot of different stuff in this theme. This is their new one, which is unique because it's an OGN, which stands for Original Graphic Novel. I know some people don't like the term graphic novel, they'd rather just say comic book. I agree, but the fact of the matter is, when it's in a collected format, graphic novel is just the easiest way to say it. An original graphic novel is unique because, unlike regular graphic novels, which collect independent issues into one big thing that you can read in one sitting, an original graphic novel is just written as the big thing. So this was never independent issues. It was just this. And Ed Brubaker has been one of my favorite writers for years now. His work with Sean Phillips has been great. I've been loving all their crime noir stuff. So, and I even read there was an earlier one of these. The first Reckless, which was just called Reckless, where they introduced this character. So it's like they're doing a continuing story thing with this. So let's see. Best-selling crime noir masters Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are back with another new original graphic novel in the Reckless series. Meet Ethan Reckless. It's a little silly, but it's comic books. Your trouble is his business for a price. A former 60s radical and undercover agent, Ethan is one part repo man, one part private eye, and one part wrecking ball. Now it's 1985 and things in Ethan's life are going pretty well, until a missing woman shows up in the background of an old B movie, and Ethan is drawn into Hollywood's secret underbelly as he hunts for her among the wreckage of the 70s. And then there's just a bunch of blurbs. And it's a hard-hitting, sun-bleached LA noir as the award-winning creators of Pulp, My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies, Criminal, and Kill or Be Killed continue the bold new take on the paperback pulp hero. My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies was part of Criminal. Whatever. But yeah, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, always a good read. Never disappointing. So yeah, I would definitely recommend anything they do. Not necessarily pick of the week, because when I'm reading comic books, I like something a little more out there. But this is a good read. What is the pick of the week then? That would be this gigantic fucking thing. Holy shit, I didn't realize how big this was. That would be Wonder Woman, The Four Horsewomen, by Steve Orlando, Jesus Marino, and Vincent... Wait, who's just the artist on this? Oh my god, there's so many. So it's like Steve Orlando's the writer, and then it's Jesus Marino, V. Ken Marion, Kieran McOwen, Jan Duursema, Max Rayner, Gleb Malkinov, Emmanuel Lupacino, Jack Herbert, Jeremy Rapak, and Miguel Mendonça. Yeah, that's a lot of artists. I think this is continuing the current Wonder Woman storyline. Where... No, wait. No. Yeah, actually this isn't. Hasn't G. Willow Wilson been writing this? I don't know, it is. It's volume 4, so Steve Orlando must have taken over G. Willow Wilson. I didn't realize that. Okay, let's read the description. That'll probably help. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. After her epic year of the villain battle against Cheetah, Wonder Woman is ready for a new start. As she begins to protect her adopted hometown of Boston, the city wonders who will protect Boston from her. Wonder Woman in Boston is an interesting story. That's just kind of silly. Sure, she may have newfound allies in the ferocious knight Valda and the cosmic warrior princess Maxima, but trouble always seems to follow Diana of Themyscira. The time trouble well, they wrote that wrong because it says the time trouble takes the form of her close friend turned enemy Paula von Gunther, aka War Master. Here's the problem with that: it should say this time. So that's their fuck up, not mine. This time, trouble takes the form of her close friend turned enemy, Paula von Gunther, aka War Master. Everything about the way this is written is so fucking weird. This is how it's written, okay? It says the time, then there's a comma. Trouble takes the form of her close friend turned enemy, Paula von Gunther, aka War Master. Another comma. Has assembled her own army of horsewomen of the apocalypse, and she's out for Wonder Woman's blood. That doesn't make any sense. It should say this time the trouble takes the form of her close friend turned enemy, Paula von Gunther, aka War Master. And then it should say, who has assembled her own army of horsewomen of the apocalypse, and she's out for Wonder Woman's blood. Am I wrong about that? I feel like that's the proper way to write that, because the way they wrote that makes no sense. In her quest for vengeance, all just lies... Oh, is her quest for vengeance... I read that wrong. That was my fault. Is her quest for vengeance all just lies, or is there really a horrible secret the Amazons have kept from their own champion? Diana will need to reunite with her former protege, Donna Troy, to find out and set things right. Plus, the dark fates have infected the heart of the Amazon rainforest, and Wonder Woman must save the innocents caught in the crossfire. Little does she know, something else is hidden there, and she could shape the future, and that is hidden there that could shape the future of the DC universe for years to come. Written by fan favorite Steve Orlando, Justice League of America, and Midnight. Brought to life by an amazing team of artists led by Jesus Marino, Justice Society of America, and Vincent Cifuentes, Batgirl. This massive tome of Wonder collects Wonder Woman 82 through 83 and 750 through 758, and Wonder Woman Annual 3 through 4. Now you might be wondering, how the hell does it collect such varying degrees of stuff? Well, the last Wonder Woman ended with 81, collecting issue 81. So the 82 through 83 makes sense. And then what I'm guessing is they probably went back to original numbering. See, every now and then they'll restart a book and restart its numbering, but then when they realize that if you collect all the collected editions together, they have so many fucking issues, that's what they probably did. So Wonder Woman was probably in her current iteration up to 83 issues, but then they thought, well, if we take everything that's ever been printed with the Wonder Woman title, we're actually up to now 750 issues, because that's kind of a milestone. So that's probably what they did. They've been doing that with like Superman and Batman, which are up into the thousands now. Even though it's a new writer, Wonder Woman has been a pretty good read, and this looks pretty interesting. So this will be my pick of the week. I'm not 100% certain about this one, but I think this is going to be it. I think Wonder Woman, the Four Horsewomen, Wonder Woman Volume 4, The Four Horsewomen, is my pick of the week. So that's what I'll be going with. We'll see if that's the case. This week might be iffy. There's actually some pretty good stuff, so who knows what could be the thing that I like the most. But, you know what? We'll get the answer to that next week when I do this again next Wednesday. And hopefully then I'll, make sure that I don't have to start this fucking thing over like I did last time, and that I won't have something in my eye so it won't feel like it's on fire and I won't blink like an idiot the whole time. But until then, keep reading, I guess. I'll work on something. I'll work on a catchphrase type thing. I'm gonna work on making these better. I gotta work harder on shit. I realize that, but I'm slow, but I'll get there eventually. I will. I was going to say something, but no, I gotta speak with more confidence. I will. I'm slow. That's me recognizing the reality of the situation, but I will get there. That's me showing confidence in myself, and that's what I need to keep doing. So, until next week, folks, keep reading and enjoy yourself. Hope you have a good weekend. Lord knows I'm going to try to. So long.